News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Sean Puff Daddy Combs declaring his innocence through his attorney. Quote, "They're meritless accusations about sex trafficking and the raids on his houses in Los Angeles, Miami, and New York from HSI, Homeland Security Investigations." Experts on Fox News today said that means they're looking at sex trafficking. His attorney said today in his first statement on behalf of Mr. Combs, these are meritless accusations. Yesterday, there was a gross overuse of the military-level force, and search warrants were executed at Combs' residences, his attorney said. There is no excuse for the excessive show of force and hostility exhibited by authorities or the way the children or employees are treated. Mr. Combs was never detained but spoke to and cooperated with authorities despite media speculation. Neither Combs nor his family members have been arrested, nor has their ability to travel been restricted in any way. This unprecedented ambush, paired with an advanced coordinated media presence, leads to a premature rush to judgment of Mr. Combs and is nothing more than a witch hunt-based meritless accusations made in civil lawsuits. There's been no finding of criminal or civil liability with any of these allegations. Mr. Combs is innocent and will continue to fight for every single day to clear his name. Now, unbelievable that Dallas megachurch pastor T.D. Jakes has surfaced in a lawsuit named against him. T.D. Jakes has surfaced, let me say it this way. I'm going to read it the way that it's reported in the Dallas Morning News, because that's where this came from, exclusively from anyone I've seen. It's just from them tonight. Dallas megachurch pastor T.D. Jakes named in a lawsuit against Sean Diddy Combs. The suit says that there's irrefutable evidence of Combs detailing how he planned to leverage his relationship with T.D. Jakes to soften the impact of his public image after his former girlfriend's lawsuit against him. She filed the suit in 2023, saying that Combs put her through a cycle of abuse, violence, and sex trafficking. It's interesting, that was last year, and now this year he's raided in all three of his homes by HSI. Okay. T.D. Jakes initially refused to respond through representatives to the Dallas Morning News. He's one of many celebrities named, they say, the news says, in Jones' lawsuit, including Prince Harry, Cuba Gooding Jr., and rapper Young Miami. In 2023, listen to this. I did not know this. Listen to this. This is not good. If your name is T.D. and your last name is Jakes, this is not good. In 2023, Jakes was accused of participating in sex parties hosted by Combs in unverified reports on social media. Jakes appeared to respond to the reports in a Christmas Eve service at the Potter's house. Quote, by the way, this is not what you would do on Christmas Eve unless you had a problem, in my opinion. Like, even if you're innocent, you don't do this crap on Christmas Eve services. It's not about you. It's about God, you know? Okay, here's what he says. Quote, "The worst thing that could happen if everything was true, all I got to do is repent sincerely from my heart. There's enough power in the blood to cover all kinds of sin. I don't care what it is. The blood would fix it, but I ain't got to repent about this." I guess that's how he addressed it without saying what it was. He was reached for comment about those reports, and Potter's House, his ministry, his church, whatever, and T.D. Jakes Ministries told the Christian Post, quote, "Recent claims circulating on pockets of social media about Jakes are unequivocally false and baseless." But a little bit more here from the Dallas Morning News today. In November of 2022, Jakes attended one of Combs' his 53rd birthday party. It was confirmed in the Christian Post. Executive Vice President of T.D. Jakes Enterprises told the Post, "We both greeted the family. Bishop Jakes recorded a brief celebratory birthday video for Combs. We left immediately to take other scheduled meetings. Any accusations to the contrary is unsubstantiated, unverified, and false." In 2021, the news says Jakes partnered with Revolt Media, a cable TV network founded by Combs, for ongoing sermon series called Kingdom Culture with T.D. Jakes. Combs sold it in 2023, November. So, anytime your name is involved in a lawsuit or is mentioned in reports with a man who's now being raided by HSI investigations at all of his homes all over the country, that's not good. TD Jakes better be doing a lot of praying right now, regardless of what did or didn't happen, right? So that's what we have on that. Prince Harry is also mentioned in a $30 million sex trafficking lawsuit against Sean Diddy Combs, according to page 6 New York Post. Wow, right? This looks to me, I'm not saying it is, but this looks like the new Epstein. I'm not saying he is, but this sure looks like it, doesn't it? It smells like it. Not that it is, but it smells like it. Also, the question I've been asking, and you're, of course, welcome to call it 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. That's 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Why do you think Combs would put his empire at risk to get involved in sex trafficking? Hey, producer Garrett, do me a favor real fast. Just see if you can verify that it's true that Trump and Puff Daddy are friends or did something together or took some pictures together or attended events together. See what you got on that, okay? Take a quick look at that. I was busy digging into these other stories we're talking about right now, but why do you think Combs would put his empire at risk and get involved in sex trafficking? Well, here's why I think if he did do it, here's why. I think we all have weaknesses and issues. And I think the more powerful and the more wealthy we become and the more of a celebrity we become, the more likely those issues are to surface and to grow, to metastasize and grow and grow and grow because we get away with stuff over and over again to the point where now you're doing things openly because you're expecting to never get caught, and you become lazy, you become powerful, you do all sorts of things, and it gets progressively worse and worse and worse and worse, and you don't realize how bad it is until you get caught. And then you go, oh my gosh, I can't believe I was doing that. Too late now, dude. That's how I think somebody like Combs could put his empire at risk to get involved in something like sex trafficking if he did it. I mean, nobody has any proof or anything. I'm not saying he did. Innocent until proven guilty. Okay, the New York Post has a 20... Okay, what year is it? 2016? Oh, there's nothing from 2020, 2022, 2023. Just 2016 saying that what is it again? What's that quick quote from the New York Post? Trump is, quote, a friend of mine. Okay. So, yeah, our last caller said something about maybe it's because he's friends with Trump. I don't know about that. I mean, I wouldn't put it above our federal government, but I don't know. So, boy, that would be something else if we got a new Epstein here. We'll see how it goes. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Prince Harry, mentioned in a $30 million lawsuit. The producer, Lil Rod Jones, mentioned in several documents in his lawsuit access to celebrities such as famous athletes, political figures, artists, musicians, international dignitaries like British Royal Prince Harry. He's not a defendant, nor has he been accused criminally. But he apparently met Puff Daddy at a party when they hosted in 2007 to thank everybody who took part in the concert for Diana at Wembley Stadium. Puff Daddy performed "I'll Be Missing You" and in honor of Princess Diana. So I don't know why he would be mentioned unless this is... I mean, if somebody is not involved in something, then I don't know why he'd mention other than try to make it high profile, and then maybe the suit is bogus. Who knows, right? We'll see. I want to tell you that I had the most... I don't know if you're going to be able to top what I had. There was a horrific incident that my wife and I had, and I think I've gone through the worst. I'm going through the worst customer service issue of all time right now. With I think 9 hours total of my time has been sucked away by AT&T from their mistake. I'm not kidding you. I wish it were fake. I wish I was making this up. And I'll tell you what happened. It's simple. It's not complicated. A lot of these things get complicated. My wife and I have gone in person to the store where this went down, and we have talked on 6 or 7 occasions for 1 to 2 hours depending on what day it was and who was talking, my wife and I, and we were repeatedly talking to these people and guarantee that stuff would get fixed, and it never gets fixed. And it's beyond insane. I'll stop it right there. But I want to talk to you coming up next about what's the worst customer service experience you've ever had, and how did you handle it, and what did you end up doing? Maybe canceling, going with another company, etc. I tell you, if you've had a nightmare with AT&T or DirecTV or one of these ones that are notorious kind of things, I don't think you're going to be able to beat mine. I wish you would, because I can't believe what's happened to me. But when it comes down to not having a bill for 2 months, when it comes down to being told you, it's insane. I'll spare you until we come up next to tell you the story. But your worst customer service experience you've ever had and how you handled it. All that coming up next. Chris Crock Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Okay, I'm going to make this real simple because it can get complicated, but I'm not going to do that at all. Otherwise, it would be bad radio. By the way, this is News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Okay. I have had AT&T as a wireless customer for my wife and I, and of course our kids. But we've been customers for 18 years. Same account, same everything. I had a iPhone 6S. I was like probably one of the last holdovers. It started to not work, so I finally took it in and traded in 4 or 6 weeks ago. Went into an AT&T's own store so we wouldn't have problems. And I was pretty much done. At the end, I just said, hey, how much would it cost if I have a business line at home right now for my radio. I do radio fill-ins. I've told you that on the air a lot. So you have to have a static IP. What that means is your internet, whatever it's called, IP, your internet address, whatever your internet protocol, whatever IP means, it never changes. With residential, your internet, your IP changes all the time. It just never stays the same. But if you get a static one, it means that number, that address, whatever you want to call it, that number, it's like 6 digits with some periods in the middle and here or there. That will never change. That's what me and the radio stations share, so we can connect as if I'm sitting right in the studio. It sounds, I could be on the air in Sydney, and it would be like I'm sitting in the studio. It's a wonderful little technology. Anyways, so mine went up from Charter or whatever it calls it. I don't even know what they're called anymore. Who the hell knows what they're called? They've been Charter, they've been 10 other names. Who cares? The point I'm trying to make here is, though, they jacked me up to $120 a month just for one static IP. So I asked them, how much would it be if I got one through you guys? And the guy called. It was on a Sunday, but the guy called their people that handle that, from the store, AT&T store. It was getting kind of in the weeds. He didn't understand. I didn't. So he said, you know what? Forget it. All of a sudden, the next day, my account was blown up. My account of 18 years was blown up. I had no access to my bill that was current bill. I had no access to my records for years. I have taxes, my wife and I are doing. And I have a sponsor who's my CPA, Randy Martin, at irsprob.com. And every year I do my taxes for my wife's business and my business. And our phone bills is included in the taxes. Well, guess what? We go in that store physically to go over it with them, and the assistant manager can't figure it out. The guy who asked the questions of them can't figure it out. They're like, this is above our pay grade. You're going to have to call in Monday, tomorrow. I call Monday. My wife calls Monday. 2 hours on the phone. Oh, it's been fixed. You have a unified bill. They blew up your old account, but we're going to ununify or deunify it, right? Just wait a day or two or three. Day or two or three later, I still have no access to my bill. I have no idea what my bill is, and I don't know what the hell's going on. So every week, my wife calls for an hour or so. I call for an hour or so. We talk to Jane, Joe, Dick, and Harry. Transferred from 4 people. This was my wife has a log. I've had a log. I asked these sons of bees their name, their name that they're allowed to give their first name and their ID number. I got the whole freaking record from these SOBs, and I'm going to tell you something. It culminated on Sunday. of me walking in, my wife, she's watching television in the afternoon, and I walk in, I put on speaker, listen to these sons of bleeps. You hear a woman having a gentle argument with another woman. One's from AT&T Wireless, the other one's from AT&T Uverse, and they're arguing about who should be able to have the bill. Do you understand this? Nobody has my freaking bill. For 18 years I've been with these SOBs. Based in Dallas. They can kiss my butt. They suck. They sucked 9 hours of my life. Today I called back again because they said, I'm telling you this, the Unified people, the cable people, the Uverse people, and the phone company, none of them can produce any of my bill. So then they told me yesterday, after they were having the gentle argument with each other, it's sheer insanity. When you have TV and wireless arguing with each other about who should be able to produce it, and nobody freaking knows their ass from a hole in the ground. Excuse my language. So then they said, you know what, sir, your answer is going to be this. You're going to need to call accounts receivable, and they can help you. I'm on the phone with this guy for 5 minutes, and he says, so are you going to pay your bill or what? I said, excuse me? I haven't even seen it. Okay. I said, can I have a copy? Sure, but it'll be $5. $5 for my bill that you won't give me? That you took from me? Against my will? I said, I thought this was accounts receivable. He goes, no, this is collections. I said, excuse me, these SOBs sent me to collections to get answers? I'm collections, sir. What the hell? I said, when am I going to collections? He goes, in 15 to 30 days. You haven't paid your bill since January. The January 20th bill comes in February after the stuff started happening. I said, I don't have a freaking copy. And I said something else. I said, for 18 years, you've had auto debit on me. You know what I'm saying? I don't pay the bill. It just debits my account, right? And then they stopped. And I have no bill. And I'm about to go to collections? AT&T is a freaking hoax and a fraud. And I tell you what, we're considering just literally paying off my wife, the phone. We do payments every month, like $20, $23 a year, a month or whatever, until it's paid off with no interest. I'm thinking of just paying. I don't want to, but I'll pay the $800 on her phone or whatever it is, and $600 on mine, whatever it is, and just freaking pay it and get the hell out of there. This is a hell show. This is a freak show. This is a clown show. And when it gets unthinkably as laughable, what's worse that's ever going to be, it gets another layer of worse. There is nothing but hell from that company. Nothing. Can you believe this? That's who these people are. Nobody knows their butt from a hole in the ground. I have never had such a nightmare experience. Never in my life. Ever. AT&T wants to destroy your life, and it wants to suck every minute and every second of your life out of you. It wants to ruin you. For asking, all I did was ask a question. How much would it cost for internet? And there ain't no damn way. They could charge $1 a month for me for internet. I'm paying $120 a month from the cable people. You know why? They haven't screwed me or stolen my life from me or my wife's life from me and made our lives miserable and now threatening to put us in collections. I know we got to wrap it. I don't care. I want to sit here and just viscerally pound on these sons of beats. They have destroyed my life. I know you can't let them unless you destroy your life unless you let them. So I have to rephrase it by saying they have destroyed my life in every way possible. Like, this is not a customer services issue. This is, let's destroy this man's life. I've had people from Kentucky, a lady say, I'm in Kentucky. She gave me her first and last name. She's not supposed to, but she did. She's like, oh, no, my supervisor said this is no problem. She'll unify. He's filling out the form. It'll be done in 3 days. Guess what happened? That was a week and a half ago. Guess what happened? Nothing. All right. What is your worst customer service experience you've ever had, and how did you handle it? What did you end up doing? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Joetta and Garland, you're coming up next. You have an AT&T story. This will be fun. Coming up next in the Chris Crock Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset. Hope I didn't get a little too nuts on you in the last segment, but it's been a nightmare. 9 hours of my time over 6 or 7 phone calls and 1 in-person visit. And I had the audacity to walk into AT&T when I upgraded my phone. And at the very end, say, hey, I have a business line at home for my internet, static IP. How much would it be if I went with you guys? And that And by the that set off some idiot or someone or something blowing up my account of 18 years, my account number and everything, and doing some unified bill, and we can't get copies of any bills. They stopped auto-debiting my account, so now they're saying you're going to go to collections and you have to pay a bill that I've not been able to see. It's been a nightmare. I can't stand them. I despise them. They've done everything they can to ruin my life and my wife's life. It is insane. And you'll go like 3 or 4 or 5 days and forget about it, and then you have to go back to it, and you become miserable for an hour again on the phone with these idiots. 4, 5, 6 people. All right, your worst experience you've ever had with customer service, and how did you handle it? What did you end up doing? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Joetta in Garland, you're on News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Hey, Joetta.
Hey, Chris. Thanks for taking my call.
Welcome.
I have to laugh because I've been there.
Yeah, we all have, right?
I have been there. Okay, so my husband back in 2017 decided he was going to move his office of decades to the house. Mm-hmm. And so he thought, no big deal, just call AT&T and transfer the 2 business lines in a fax line. Well, a year into it, he's like, I need to do something about this phone bill. I said, what are you talking about? He said, I'm paying $1,000 a month. I said, you're kidding me.
What?
He said, no. So I got to look at the bill. I said, they are billing us for 6 phone lines.
Oh, my gosh.
Plus the internet that's set up in 2 different areas of the house. I said, what's with this? He said, I don't know. He said, I thought they knew what they were doing. So I called him up, and they're like, well, so what are all these 6 numbers on this bill? And I said, well, what are they? And so come to find out, what they did was, they said, well, you're in an area where AT&T doesn't service landlines. And so what we did, ultimately after hours, what we did was we had to port the phone over from a landline to a mobile phone. And then from there, bring it into the house. Mm-hmm. Well, the problem was the landline department and the mobile department are 2 completely different divisions. Sound familiar?
Just like me.
And neither of them talk to each other. Neither systems would commingle with one another. So I get on the phone with the landline department, and you're going to have to call the mobile department. And I just went round and round for hours and hours and hours. So finally, I got to thinking. I thought, wait a minute. One of my son's best friends is in management with AT&T. Mm-hmm. Let me reach out to Stephen. Mm-hmm. Stephen's like, no problem. He said, send me an email. Here's my business email address. Mm-hmm. Give me the details, and I'm going to put you in contact with the office of the president. So, lo and behold, so I get another email a day or so later. He said, call this lady, and here's her extension number. Mm-hmm. And so I called her. I said, is this really the office of the president at AT&T? She said, yeah, we're the same department that handles the Air Force One. And so it took about a month and a half to get it straightened out, but it wasn't me doing it. It was them. So what we ultimately did was we deleted 2 of the phone lines, kept our main number that we'd had for decades, ported it over to a cell phone number. So all we had,
one line.
Business number. One line, it was a cell phone, so went from paying $1,000 a month down to a couple hundred.
Somebody said they did that before too and called the president. Stanky is his name, and his phone company is Stanky as far as I'm concerned. I looked it up and I tried to call it, but it went right to are you calling for customer service? I'm like, I screamed at that one too. I'm like, yeah, okay. So I don't know what it is, but I'd love to get that number. John Stanky is the CEO. I remember from looking it up over the weekend and today. So
yeah, I tried finding the number on online, and I couldn't either.
Right,
they in contact.
They don't want you to find it. Well, Stephen did a good job, and I wish I had a Stephen in my life. I appreciate your great call, Joetta.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's go next to Rick and McKinney. We got 2 lines open, 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. What is the worst customer service experience you've ever had, and how did you handle it? What did you end up doing? 800-288-9227. Rick and McKinney, you're on News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
Thank you, sir. So I had the same problem. I actually was with AT&T, and I left them for T-Mobile because the prices got astronomical. Mm-hmm. And T-Mobile had no issue. I had 6 phone lines, all cell phones. And then all of a sudden I get a bill in the mail. And like you, I paid by automatic payment, so I never got a bill. Mm-hmm. But then I get a bill for my business. And I called them. I said, I don't have a T-Mobile for my business. And they said, okay, we'll transfer you to fraud. So they transferred to the fraud department. And the lady, and I'm not sure what country it's in, she said, I need to send you a code. Read me the code off your phone. I said, I don't have a phone because it's fraud. well, I can't help you unless I give you the code. I said, ma'am, I don't have a device. What am I going to give you a code from? And it went back and forth, back and forth. She said, you need to go to the store physically. So I went to a company-owned store, and the guy calls the customer service himself, and she said, I need to text him a code. He goes, ma'am, he doesn't have a phone. There is no, but he has a phone. And then finally, after like an hour on the phone, they realized it's not even a phone. It's a mobile internet, like a home internet. So it doesn't even receive codes. And it went back and forth. He says, you need to cancel the phone. So literally, so I had to come back the next day. They canceled the service rather, and then they wouldn't zero out the bill unless I give them a code. I said, I don't have a device.
Gosh.
What am I going to give? And it went back and forth. The guy said, come back tomorrow. We're closing. So I was there for 2 hours.
Oh,
and
my
this is
gosh.
the manager of the store. Finally, the next day, the supervisor said, sir, I can't help you anymore. I'm hanging up on you. So she hung up.
They've done that to me. They've done that to me. This SOB I called today was supposed to be all it was hey, you can get your copies of your bill for the whole year for your taxes. You call accounts receivable, and then I find out after 5 minutes with this guy who was rushing me and saying, are you going to pay your bill or not? I said, this is accounts receivable. They told me you'd have my bill for last year. No, this is collections.
Oh, my goodness.
Today.
Oh, my goodness. So they finally canceled the phone after 3 days going back and forth. The guy was, the manager at the store was amazingly nice. Finally canceled the phone. The service, the internet that I don't have. And I said, as a thank you, I went to the Spectrum store and I switched all 6 phones to Spectrum.
There you go.
And that was it. And by the way, that's who bought Charter, Spectrum.
That's right. I have that. That's what I have. I forgot. So they're your phone now?
Yeah, they're my cellular phone as well as home internet and home TV and all that stuff.
Are they good?
They are actually good. My internet just went down and they came and fixed it the next day, and they called me a day after that to make sure everything was working.
You have Charter, or you have Spectrum Business, right?
Spectrum Business as well as my home.
That's why they came the next day, because I have Spectrum Business too for my internet line, my radio line, my static IP.
Yeah. I have a static IP as my business as well, and so far they've been wonderful.
So people have no idea what they are, and they're like, and you tell them what it is, they have no idea, and they explain it to them, and and they still try to do something else. I'm like, you have no idea what you're talking about. And so I had to say, look, it's the line is for one thing, microphone, nothing else.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with internet? I'm like, I don't use it for internet. They don't. It's like, stop asking questions. If you can't answer it, give me someone who can. Great call, Rick. Thank you. All right, we got Johnny in Decatur and John in Dallas. John's got a comment on insurance. Johnny with AT&T. Oh boy, we're gonna get to that coming up next. Plus your call. 3 lines open: 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. What is the worst customer experience you've ever had? Does it top my 9-hour 7 call and one visit in person nightmare with AT&T who blew up my bill, and now they're asking me to pay it, and I have no way of seeing what the bill is? It's a complete and total nightmare. And how did you handle it? What did you end up doing? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. That's next. Chris Kroc, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM 93.3. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. What is the worst customer service experience you've ever had, and how did you handle it? What did you end up doing? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. My nightmare of AT&T, 9 hours on the phone. One conversation my wife had for 2 hours. The rest we had in the store for an hour. We had 6 or 7 other ones for an hour, hour and a half. Something of that nature, all because I walked in, and at the end of upgrading my phone at AT&T, at an AT&T owned store, I said, hey, what would it cost for me to get a switch my business internet line with you guys? And somehow it blew up my old account of 18 years from just for cellular, and it made some unified account. I didn't know what that was. I had no idea. I was never told about it. I didn't give permission. I didn't sign anything. They don't have my voice in anything. You know, they record sometimes when you do something over the phone with them. Nothing. It never happened. And they've totally ruined. They've ruined. They've stolen and made miserable 9 hours of my and my wife's life. and because of their gross incompetence, and it culminated on Sunday afternoon with a lady from AT&T Uverse arguing with AT&T Wireless about who had the copies. I couldn't even get my taxes, my bill for last year, for my wife's business and my business, for 12 months of billing, I couldn't get. It was shut down. Nobody has it. They finally gave me today a number to call for, what was it, accounts receivable? Within 5 minutes, the guy said, no, this is collections. And you got to pay your bill. You going to pay your bill or not? If not, you'll be sent to collections within 15 to 30 days. I'm like, I want to see a bill you're talking about. Well, you can, but I can mail you one, but you'll have to pay $5. I'm like, what? For something you blew up and I have no way to get? I wanted to strangle that man. And I want to burn at the stake whoever did this. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Let us go to, what do we got next? Johnny, right? And then John? Okay, Johnny in Decatur, then John in Dallas. Johnny, you're on News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Hello, Johnny.
Good morning, Mr. Chris, conservative Chris.
Good morning somewhere. Good afternoon tonight. Good evening tonight.
Yeah, anyhow, I've had poor customer service before, but nothing like you're going through right now. Mm-hmm. Thank God. Mm-hmm. But I do want to let you know that it might be because you are Mr. Conservative Chris. And AT&T, the Democrat supporters, found out about that.
I wish that it were that. I don't think it's that, but I wish it was. That would really explain a lot.
Well, I think it explains it all.
Well, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. But after talking to like 6 or 7 different people for an hour, half hour to 45 to an hour to 2 hours,
right. So it sounds
to different people, different names, different employee IDs, and never getting it fixed, even after they said they would get it fixed, all sorts of stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And they push the buttons and they don't have any idea.
Right.
You're right. Their noses are snotty.
Right. This company, AT&T, is an absolute disaster. Nobody knows anything. Nobody can do anything.
I walked away from them in 2009.
Right.
Because I did find out their only support is to the Democrat Party.
Where did you go to?
Conservative radio.
Huh?
Conservative radio.
No, but where did you go for your phone? You don't have a phone?
Oh, I'm with T-Mobile now.
Oh, okay. And are they any good, or are they probably just as bad?
No, they're good. They're just starting to get into the lame stuff that I don't want. If you're going to support something, support it. But don't tell me you're supporting it. I don't want to know.
Right, exactly.
Once I find out about it, that's when I want to get away from it.
Appreciate your call, Johnny. Thank you, brother. John in Dallas, you're on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Hello.
Hi, Chris.
Hi.
Yes, good to talk with you again. It's probably been a little over a year since I last called in and spoke with you, but yes, I just had a couple of things to share. Mm-hmm. Of course, I'll share my experience with my insurance, where I had a lower back injury, but one thing I'll touch on real briefly is this gal. About who I know. She's a friend of the family. She's a realtor, and I coached her away from AT&T a year and a half ago or more, mm-hmm. because all of a sudden they decided to add another business line at her house, because like a lot of realtors, she has her home office out of the house. Mm-hmm. And so after this, she ran into a big problem with why have I got 2 lines? And she was busy. She was out,
right?
Going, showing houses and dealing with both, the sellers and the buyer, et cetera, et cetera. So she was gone from home a lot. And then finally, we sat down. We talked on the phone for probably a good hour. And I said, hey, her name is Gladys. And I said, hey, Gladys, this and this. You got to go through these steps. And I said, what you need to do, I think you just need to quit them altogether. And that's what she did. But anyways,
who'd she go with?
Chris, I think she might have gone with Spectrum for it was Spectrum or a different one, and whatever one she went to, she was happy. At least she didn't get all these
abuse
charges. Charges and all this different stuff.
They don't care. The company itself, writ large, does not care. It's a machine that does not give a frog's fat butt about you. Doesn't care anything about you.
Absolutely, Chris. It was unbelievable. And again, it was a second business high-speed broadband line that they installed.
Let me ask you a question.
They did while she was.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Who do you use?
Who I use for my cell phone service, I used to be with T-Mobile for years, was happy with them, but then since I found that and you could do a 3-month trial, you might have seen Mint Mobile before, Ryan Reynolds.
Who do you use now?
I've been using Mint Mobile for the past 3 years, and I've got the unlimited plan. I pay in a year in advance, get the biggest discount. But anyways, there's other plans. They'll start you off on a 3-month trial. But the thing is, compared to T-Mobile, I get the exact same high speed, unlimited high speed, to my phone internet, and they don't throttle it back either. So I'm pretty happy with them. But what I'll do real quick, I'll tell you this.
I got to roll in like 15.
Okay. The insurance company. I was getting a runaround after this lower back injury. Super quick. I heard a technique where you don't contact the president of a company. This was Nationwide Insurance. I heard on the radio, actually, Clark Howard, give him credit.
I used to work with him.
Oh, cool. Awesome. I didn't know that. Yeah, wonderful, man.
I got to roll.
Anyways, contact the vice presidents.
Okay.
Vice presidents of the different departments.
I like it.
Email them. Find their email. Go
Thank
to
you.
LinkedIn, find their email.
All right, I got to roll, John. Thank you very much, brother. I look forward to your next call.